Ever wonder what would happen if Eustace were charged for his crimes? His actions were always reckless, selfish, and downright cruel, but what if his endless schemes, fraud, manipulation, and even conspiracy finally caught up with him? Well, today we're gonna find out what would happen to the self-centered farmer in the middle of nowhere. Starting with the episode, Courage Meets Bigfoot. It starts with Courage trying to warn Muriel and Eustace of the monster he just saw outside their window. And of course, Eustace goes on to mock Courage, calling him a stupid dog for absolutely no reason at all. After his effortless warnings of the creature that was lurking outside the house, Eustace learns about Bigfoot, who is terrorizing nowhere, and the reward that you'd receive if you capture the monster alive. Imagine being excited for $25 and a lifetime membership to a museum. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't risk my life trying to capture a Bigfoot for 25 bucks. Then again, I guess $25 was worth a lot back then. Anyways, he grabs the tools he needs to capture Bigfoot. A mousetrap, a fishing pole, a fly swatter, and an iron torture collar. Yeah, clearly doesn't know what he's dealing with. He then goes on to gather up a mob of angry farmers to help him take down Bigfoot, no matter what it takes, putting not only the farmers in danger, but also the innocent beasts that want no trouble. For this, Eustace would be charged for endangering of life and emotional damage, and for these crimes, he would get a sentence of 5 to 10 years and a $10,000 fine. In the episode Farmer Hunter, Farmer Hunted, we can see how Eustace is traumatized by his past, which was shaped by his older brother, who is now dead. His older brother, whose name was Bagge, belittled Eustace, calling him a useless person. All Eustace wanted was to go hunting with his older brother, but he was denied because he would just get in the way. Now fast forward years later, he wants to prove to himself that he's not a useless, good-for-nothing hunter by going out into the wild and hunting down animals. He grabs his big laser gun and gets ready to do some serious harm. Where did he even acquire that weapon? Maybe he got it from his older brother, or maybe he bought his own. This is a mystery we'll probably never find out. We then see Eustace doing some target practice on Courage, a squirrel, an owl, and then a worm. This man has completely lost his marbles and doesn't care about the outcomes of his actions.
I'll show that dumb horse. I'll show them all. Whoa.
He then sets his eyes on an innocent deer family just minding their own business, only to find out that the father of the family has had enough with hunters attacking his family every season. The deer takes matters into his own hands and deals with the problem once and for all. The hunter is now being hunted. For these inhuman actions, Eustace would be charged with poaching and sentenced to 2 years in prison, the $250,000 fine for the endangerment of these innocent animals. Now, I'm sure you guys all know Freaky Fred, the terrifying man who gave you nightmares whenever you heard him speak. Well, Eustace uses him to do his dirty work against Courage in this episode, which is Freaky Fred. Things couldn't get any creepier when Muriel's nephew decides to pay a visit to the Bagge family in the middle of nowhere. From the very beginning, this character gave the strangest vibe, with the creepy smile and the strange monologue playing throughout the episode.
That's when my tired eyes beheld a doggy dog. Like dog he smelled. D-O-G is what he spelled, and that's how I spell naughty.
Eustace knew that Fred was a mysterious, freaky barber who had been obsessed with using his clipper to leave people bald. It was at this moment that Courage didn't like the feeling he was getting from Fred. Muriel sends Courage upstairs with Fred to show him the bathroom, and Eustace follows right after with some towels. It was at this moment that Eustace did the most evil thing ever. He locked Courage in the bathroom with Fred, knowing that Courage would go through the most traumatic experience of his life. To make matters worse, Eustace takes his sweet time to come back home with the tools needed to open the bathroom door. At the end of the episode, we see Courage completely hairless and is saved by the men who come to pick up Freaky Fred. For this, Eustace would be charged with animal cruelty, giving him an additional 10 years and a $20,000 fine. In the episode Hothead, we can see Eustace's true temper when it comes to dealing with his bald head. He's been dealing with this problem since he was a child, but in this episode, he finally finds a solution to his problem. There's an ad in the newspaper promising hair growth in a day. The name of the place, funny enough, is called Hair Growth Experiment Institute, and the address is 123 Testing Street. How many of you would believe a place named like that? But Eustace doesn't seem to get the hint and decides to visit the place. He undergoes various trials to obtain approval for the medication that'll help him grow his hair. These trials are like a comedic way to show how far and to what lengths he would go to get what he wants. You can see that he goes through the most intense challenges and surprisingly survives the entire experience, but his body was completely wrecked. Just as you can see the danger of this experiment, look at what it says on the bottle. On the way back home, he puts the first couple of drops on his head and gets cut off, gets disrespected, and that's when he goes berserk. He now has the power that lets him blow up objects from a distance by just getting angry. He really just blew up that car with the power of his mind. For the rest of the episode, he does more tasks that increase his anger more and more, and even the telephone suffers. It reminds me of when Goku blew the ground up to bury Vegeta. The house at the end meets its own demise when Eustace finally grows his one single hair, but it falls over his face. For this, Eustace would be charged with criminal mischief, adding another 25 years in prison, and an additional $10,000 in fines for the destruction of property. But brace yourself, because this next thing might just be the worst thing that Eustace has ever done in any episode. What I'm talking about is the episode Ball of Revenge. We always knew that Eustace had a deep hatred for Courage ever since they adopted him, but I never knew that Eustace would go to these lengths to try and get rid of the poor dog.
That stupid dog gets all the good stuff around here. I hate that dumb dog.
Oh, don't you fret, Courage. It doesn't hate you.
Time for that dog to get for good. Operator, I'm gonna need a few numbers.
Every single enemy that Courage has encountered in the past is now teaming up to eliminate him, thanks to Eustace, who made the call to put a hit on Courage after taking his blanket, which was supposed to be for him. Everyone gathers around the table to plan their attack, and Eustace knows the perfect idea to lure Courage into a trap, which is Courage's weakness, Muriel's safety. Cats, Big Toe, the Queen of the Black Puddle, Weremole, the Quack, and Cajun Fox want their revenge against Courage. Courage has no choice but to play a dangerous game of dodgeball to save Muriel, taking the craziest beating of his life. All hope seems lost until Courage came up with an idea of creating an earthquake by just screaming. Eustace's plan was completely ruined, and he suffered the consequences. For this, Eustace would be charged with murder for hire, which would get him 10 years in prison and a $200,000 fine, bringing Eustace's total sentence to 57 years in prison and a whopping total fine of $490,000. But by far, the worst crime you guys have committed is watching this whole video without being subscribed. So go ahead, subscribe, because soon I'm going to make a video on Courage's life story, and that's something you won't want to miss.